Michael Chitwood and Breaking Points.
This is Michael Chitwood. Welcome to Breaking Points today, and have I got some powerful breaking news for you today. Yesterday on the program, I dealt with Form 5578, racial non-discriminatory policy. I told you today that I would read to you what you have to publish in your newspaper and even broadcast to your students. Can I do that? Grab your pad and pen. Let's get started if we can. This is the form that I'm holding in my hand here. You couldn't see it if I was to hold it up, but it's a 5578 form, and this form deals with a non-discriminatory policy. Here's what it says. The school must publish a notice of its racially non-discriminatory policy in a newspaper of general circulation. And the size of that, it must be in at least 12-point bold face. You must publish that every year in the newspaper that's generally published and circulated in your area. That's a requirement by law. Also, it says here that the school may use the broadcast media to publicize its racially non-discriminatory policy. The form is called a 5578. I'd like to encourage you to make sure that you have filed this form. The second form that I'd like to deal with is called a 941 form. The 941 form is for all churches and all nonprofit organizations that are for-profit as well as non-profit. See, a 941 form is not just for those that are for-profit. It's for all of those organizations that are non-profit too. I was talking to a church check writer the other day, and she said, Dr. Chitwood, I never knew that we had to file a 941 form. She said, the person that trained me never trained me to file it. That means that their books are now wrong for 21 consecutive years. That means that if the IRS wanted to come in and check those people, that they would be in serious trouble with penalties and fines. A 941 form, please make a note of this, is referred to as an employer's quarterly federal tax return. It reports all of the wages and the withholding taxes, FIT, and it multiplies out the FICA at 7.65, and then you know you have to match it, which makes it a total of 15.3. The 941 form has to be filed every quarter, and we know that a quarter consists of 3 months. There's 4 quarters to a year, so you have to file it 4 times a year. A 941 form is required by law for you to file it if you have any payroll. And we know we have at least one person on payroll, don't we? Who is that? The pastor of the church. So you know today that you have to file a 941 form. The third form that I'd like to deal with today is referred to as a 8282, Don't Information Return. Please make a note of this, because most church check writers and board members, of course we know what board members know about this. They know what? Nothing. We know what check writers know about this. Nothing for the most part. I guess probably the most loose organization in the world today is the church. And I don't say that to be disrespectful or to offend you. Please hear my heart today. I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want that on my record. I'm here to help you today, because with all the churches, we are the largest in the United States that deals with churches and nonprofit organizations. And I'll tell you something else. Without seeming too puffed up, I don't want to be puffed up at all, but we're the best. You know why we're the best? Because that's all we do. We don't do Baskin and Robbins like other firms do. We don't do Midas Muffler shops. We do churches and nonprofit organizations, ministry singing groups. We do anybody that's nonprofit, tax-exempt organizations. So the Form 8282 is Don't Information Return. I want to invite you to receive a copy of that 8282 form so that you can make sure that you're complying with all the terms and conditions that's required. See, it's not what you know that will hurt you. It's what you don't know. T.D. Jakes puts it this way: what you don't know can hurt you. I want to make sure that you have all the information, that you have all the power, all the knowledge, so that you can get your house of worship in order and keep your house of worship in order. I believe you want that, don't you? I believe you want your house to be in order. And remember what Romans 13, 1 through 6 said. it says, obey all of the laws of the land. Until tomorrow, this is Michael Chitwood, and I'll see you on Breaking Points.
Breaking Points gives you the latest IRS updates and tax law. Pastor, if the IRS came to your church today, what would you say? If you really want your house of worship in order, call 1-800-345-9117.